Good morning, children. Today's class, we are moving to the next chapter in physics, that is chapter 12, friction. In the last chapter itself, we saw that friction is a type of force which arises when two objects are in contact with them. Right? Friction is called by the name Urasal in Tamil. When you rub your hands together, you would feel some warmthness. That is because of friction. So first, let us understand the importance of friction in our daily life. Friction is responsible for all the activities we do. Whether I walk or write or hold a book, everything is just because of friction. If there is no friction, then I cannot walk properly. I cannot hold the pencil. The book will not lie on the table. Everything would slip or skid. Friction helps the objects to be held with grip and firmly. How is the friction helping us is, if you see any objects, like let us consider this is a table, the top portion of the table. It is made up of wood, okay? Let us consider that it is made up of wood. This surface has some irregularities when I view it through a microscope. So all the surface will not be as smooth as it appears out. It will have some irregularities or some peaks like this when we have a microscopic view. This peak portions are visible only in the microscope, and this is called as the irregularities. These irregularities will cause friction when I place any book on the table. If I am placing a book on the table, the book and the surface of the wood are in contact. If these both the surfaces, as I told you already that frictional force arises between the two surfaces of an object. When two objects are in contact, there occurs a friction. So book is one object, wood table is another object. They both have two different surfaces. Each book will also have the irregularity and the wood table also will have the irregularity. When these both irregularities are in contact and when they are locked like this, the book will lie on the table and it would not fall down. You are sitting in a chair. Okay, there occurs a contact between your body and the chair surface. That contact will produce the friction, and that is why we are able to sit properly in the desks or chair. You walk on the floor. There occurs a friction between the floor as well as the surface of your shoes. The shoe and the floor will have a friction, and that enables us to walk properly without slipping. Can you wear bathroom slippers and walk on the marble ground layer? If your ground surface is of marble, can you use bathroom slippers and walk over there? No, because we would slip down. Whereas, can you use your school shoes inside the bathroom? The bathroom floor will be slippery. It will be wet and it will be slippery, right? So, the school shoes or any other slippers which we use outdoor, if we use it inside the bathroom, we would slip down. That is why we have a specific form of bathroom slippers which are all made up of rubber to walk on the slippery bathroom floor surface. Clear? So, the frictional force depends on the surfaces of the object. If it is smooth, I have more if the layer of the object, the surface of the object is smooth, the friction will be less. If the surface of the object is hard, the friction is more. Now, for better understanding, consider this as an object. Okay? Let us take it as one desk. If you push the desk from this side, okay, you are pushing the desk from this side. What will happen? The desk's movement will be towards this direction. Am I right? The desk will move in this direction and the movement of the desk, that is its motion, is in this direction. So, where is the friction acting is, friction will act in the opposite direction to the movement. Clear? The friction will always act opposite to the direction of motion. That will enable the desk to move smoothly. Okay, if you are walking in this direction, the friction will be acting in the opposite direction that prevents you from falling. And that will enable you to walk properly. Now, consider the same example. Here I have placed a book. If I am moving the book in this direction, where will the friction act? In which direction will the friction act? The friction will move in the opposite direction. It will act in the opposite direction so that the irregularities are locked and that enables the book to move smoothly on the layer of the table. Clear, children? So, friction is a force which enables the objects to move smoothly. If there is no friction, we cannot walk properly, we cannot hold the objects firmly. All the surfaces of the objects will have irregularities in them. The friction always acts in the direction opposite to the motion. If I move this direction, the friction acts in the opposite direction, enabling me to walk the next steps. By acting in the opposite direction to the motion, the irregularities are locked and there is a smooth movement. If the friction is acting in the same direction of the motion, the irregularities are not locked. Okay, so that all the books and anything, if I keep on the table, it would slip down, it will skid away. Because there is no interlocking of irregularities. Only when there is irregularities or locked, there will be able to stay in one position. Otherwise, the book will fall down. It will fall from the table. Okay? Next, let us see the factors affecting friction. There are 4 different factors affecting friction. I hope you got an idea about what is friction. Friction always acts in the direction opposite to the motion. Okay? And it helps in the interlocking of your irregularities. That is the locking of the irregularities present in the surface of objects. Force perpendicular to surface the angle of force matters, surface irregularities matters, nature of surface, whether smooth or hard surface, mass of objects. These are the 4 factors affecting the friction. Let us see one by one in detail. Now, consider this as a very heavy object. Okay, you need to drag this object from one place to another. You're just moving this heavy object from one place to another. So, you would just push it, right? If you push in the top portion, will you able to move this object? If you push in from the bottom, okay, you're going to push it from the bottom. Will you able to drag the this heavy object? No. That is because the object is very heavy. And so the friction to move this object will also be high. That is what I mean, the mass of object. Okay, your mass of the object matters for your friction. If the mass of the object is high, your friction will be high. Your friction will be high in the sense it is difficult to move. If your friction is small, you would be able to move to the next position. But if the friction is high, you won't be able to move. I will explain you why it is not moving. We push the desk towards this direction. So your motion is towards this direction. Am I right? But where is the friction will act? As we saw already that the friction direction is opposite to the direction of motion. The friction is an opposite force. The mass of the object itself is already high, so the friction will be very high. So the opposite force, that is the opposing friction which is acting in the opposite direction, will prevent the object from moving. If this opposing force is less, it would be easy for us to move. If this opposing force is so high, will the object move? No. So that is what I meant, that the frictional force is opposite to the direction of motion and it is an opposite force. Clear? So, if the mass is high, the friction is also high, and since the friction is acting in the opposite direction, it is difficult for me to drag a heavy mass object. So how do I overcome that situation? For that, I need to apply the force exactly perpendicular to the object. If I apply force in the top, the object will not move. If I apply the force from the bottom, the object is not going to move. If I apply the force exactly perpendicular, what is meant by perpendicular? 90 degree, right? So this is my object, exact 90 degree I am applying the force. So at this time the object will overcome the opposing frictional force and it moves. That is what we saw the first factor as force perpendicular to the surface, angle of force. The angle at which I apply the force to move the object depends. Okay. The next is surface irregularities. We saw that already. Surface irregularities is nothing but the peaks or uneven surfaces which are all available in all the surfaces of the objects when viewed through a microscope. These irregularities will also be a factor of friction. If there are less irregularities, the friction will be less, and if there are more irregularities, the friction will be more. The next, nature of surface, smooth or hard. This relates to your second factor, that is your surface irregularity. Okay, as I told you already, if it is of a smooth layer, granite or tiles or marble layer or washroom tiles is there, no wet surface. Okay, so they would have a smooth layer. If there is smooth layer in the sense, then the irregularities will be less. Right? So if I walk on this layer, the irregularities from the shoes of my leg to the layer of this floor will be interlocked, and that will enable me to walk properly even in the smooth layers. Okay, if it is a hard concrete layer, then the irregularities will be over them will be too much, right? So again, if I walk on this, the irregularities from my bathroom slipper, if I use, will it be able to overcome the interlocking? So that is the reason I choose shoes and slippers for outdoor purposes. While I walk on a road, it is a concrete, so the irregularities are more. So I choose another object, that is the shoes and the slippers, which have an equal amount of irregularities to compensate the irregularities present in the hard surface, and that enables me to walk properly even in a hard concrete road. Accordingly, I choose the objects. So outdoor uses, I use shoes. In bathrooms, I use rubber slippers. If I replace the shoes with rubber slippers in a hard surface, will I able to walk? I would skid and I would fall down, right? So that is what we choose the slippers based on the surface we walk on. Okay? That is because smooth surfaces will have less irregularities and the hard surfaces will have more irregularities on them. Irregularities are nothing but the uneven surfaces. The next point, as we saw already, that is nothing but the mass of the object. Mass is heavy, friction is high. If the mass is less, the friction would be less. Is it easy to drag a rock or is it easy to drag a desk? It is obviously the desk because of difference in weight. The desk is less weight than the rock. Understood? So these are the 4 important factors which affects friction. Depending upon these, the friction may be either high or low. Then the next is types of friction. Static friction, sliding friction and rolling friction. Okay, let us see these types of friction in detail in the next class. If you have any doubt, please call me, my dear children. This is a very important chapter, the continuation of your last chapter. Okay, thank you children.